Another tank round slams to the front turret. ZTZ trying to do something, but he's tracked. ATGM flying right past us, and they miss. Rounds landing everywhere, barely even hitting the tanks. T-72, another one dumps into the dirt, and ATGM slams into the top side of the first T-72. That one's in pain. Another round into our front. Oh my goodness, what a play! ZTZ takes out the T-72, and that's the first tank down in this fight. Hey guys, MoiDawg here, and today we've got another episode of Eye in the Sky, where we take a look at a game of squad from the top down. In this one, we have the Chinese up against the Middle Eastern Alliance on Mutaha Tanks. If you like armor, you're gonna love this layer. Mutaha Tanks V1 is now the second tank-only map in the game, after Talil tanks. And although I love Talil tanks, I think Mutaha makes for a much better overall game since infantry can actually play the objectives. But hey, don't get me wrong, this round, this video, yeah, we had a lot of tank fights, and I think we actually get to witness one of the largest tank battles I've ever seen in squad, so I hope you guys enjoy. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and drop me a comment below with a map, game mode, or faction you'd like to see in the next one. But that's it for me. Enjoy the video. Peace. All right. Eye in the Sky. Mutaha Tanks. This is not custom. This is actually in the game. This is a brand new tank layer. Normally, you just have Talil tanks. This is Mutaha Tanks, and the scale of it is just awesome. We as you can see here, we're along the desert outskirts of Mutaha, and we are on board with the PLA China, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ZTZs, and they are going up against the MEA, who have 6 T-72s and 1 T-62, also 1 BMP-1, a couple BMP-2s, and of course we got the ZBD, which is more or less a Chinese BMP-3 here. Double barrel, double barreled IFE here, fires not just, you know, kind of tank rounds, but also ATGM autocannon. I mean, this thing is an absolute beast. So Mutaha Tanks, let's go. Normally tanks, whenever they respawn, it takes 15 minutes, but Mutaha Tanks is going to be a 5-minute respawn timer, and the objectives are going to be South Bridge up to Highway Farm, over to Eastern Outskirts, Communication Outpost, and then Hydro Station. And although there are objectives here,
hey, I strongly suggest
the tanks are more or less the objectives.
Work in tandem. You know, maybe 2 moving parts, 3 and 3.
Here you go. A squad leader is already trying to organize themselves, say, hey, let's wolf pack, let's group up together.
Don't think I can handle it.
Apes together strong, yes sir. T-72 strong, ZTZ strong. I mean, well, not too much as a wolf pack as we thought, as looks like tanks are in a few different mines. As a few push out east. They are going east on the road as only one, and it looks like they have one of the ATGM vehicles push out to support. So looks like we'll have a little split. Not sure how well that's going to be. 4 tanks for ZTZ going straight up north. And oh wow, this actually might end up being a completely devastating flank. Not a single tank from MEA choosing to go south. And what might just happen is the armored column on the main road is going to take the brunt of the fight, as the MEA T-72Ss push down the heart of Mutaha, while this flank ends up just being devastating. So could be a really unique way to play this. Usually you get huge armored fights just in the middle, or just on the flanks. You don't kind of get this both split. So going to be really interesting, and you can see all the tanks are kind of pausing right now. I would be too. I'd be very surprised that not a single piece of armor is out here, and with the fog you can only see about 400 or 500 meters, so tanks are going to be pausing here for a second. And I want to take a look, make sure we're not going to miss any fight early on. It looks like tanks still, man, this is a huge old flank. Not quite sure how I feel about it. I don't necessarily think it's a bad move. You know, ultimately wolf packs are going to win these fights, and I do definitely like seeing the mix of armor as well, because these
line of tanks.
there you go, these rockets along the side. So you got a whole bunch of firepower, even though these are definitely they can't just take on a tank in a face-to-face. Able to fire off these ATGMs to support the tanks is going to be huge, and I give them a minute or two before you get a call out. I mean, that is 1-2. You got a whole lot of everything coming down main road.
I think every arm is going to you.
Got you.
Grizz with a little bit dejected sounding, saying, hey, I think you got everything over here. And it looks like we had an ATGM vehicle maybe up at communication outpost that just got popped. We see something, really not sure what that was out there, but whatever it is, it's dead now. And here is the main road of Mutaha. It's just so interesting. I mean, I don't blame them. The tanks out west are just frozen. You don't expect no tanks to show up. So now you have a T-72 column that's going to push straight down to Mutaha and run into nothing. You're going to have a flank out west that's going to run into nothing. And a really nervy situation. I'd be interested to hear the comms. Oh, and hold on. You're going to get 1 or 2 picked off here. That's actually... We're going to go out east here, because as Squad 11, 1, 5, 4, the whole gambit out west, they're going to start moving. Squad 7 is going to be holding this eastern flank, and if they're smart, the 2 tanks can do quite a lot of damage, especially with this.
Somebody. We're getting a little main campy. We should probably devise a flanking plan.
I'm flanking currently. If someone wants to come to support me, I wouldn't shoot much past that road. For main camp.
Flanking. You know what? I think people are being a little too careful right now. The only way to go is to go that way. I would not fault anyone for pushing that move, but they choose to go a bit safer way. And Squad 7 is now going to be, well, you should see him in just a second. We starting to hear some T-72s. Center Island here, and off to our right, you're not going to see it just yet, but off to our right, you're going to have T-72s pushing up, and these 2 ZTZs, without realizing it, there we go. 1, 2, just little dots right now. They're about to walk into the first tank engagement of this round, and it looks to be about a 2v3, 2 T-72s, and I believe they have a BMP as well. T-72 about to push up around the edge. ZTZ, the main gunner, is looking the wrong way. Hold on, turns the corner, they see him.
Right.
T-72 actually dumps his first shot into the armor. That's deflected, no damage. And the ZTZ misses their first shot, a second round from a tank way off in the distance. Actually smacks
We got at least 3 tanks.
the rear ZTZ, and you can see him right over the hill, just tagging that backup ZTZ.
Here, hold close.
And now you have a huge standoff where 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they aggroed everybody. Everybody's now coming to play for the tank fight.
Not out to the right, but this will be fine. Just hold.
Hold. You see the top of the turret right there?
Pop right over. Yeah, right. Yep.
Oh, they're not even seeing it. Maybe just on the angles here, but that machine gun on the top, the remote weapon system just barely poking out over the edge of this hill. And they're going to brave it. This could be very dangerous.
Just chill and wait for our
Don't
friendlies.
always move unobserved. Do not always move
There you
unobserved.
go.
Let
You
know. Reverse.
You see just that
hold
edge right
reverse.
there. He's trying to back it up now, and this is just a standoff. Tank's trying to get into position. You see to our left side as well, right over the hill. That looks like a BMP.
I don't think so. We'll hear him.
And multiple tanks now. You can just see the shadows. Incredibly nervy, and we're starting to get a little bit of kind of heavy weapon fire in the city. as both teams start to slam into each other on those crossroads. And wow, look at those shadows moving left to right. A big old flank coming. T-72 starting to peek. ZTZ's not seeing it. ATGM misses as 2 tank rounds come right into the left of the ZTZ. Tracked on the left side.
Going towards my move mark.
Right tank needs to make something happen. Put away those ATGMs and instead get the main gun up. Both shots, at least they're... Oh, ATGM actually flies right through? I don't know how they missed it. Another tank round slams into the front turret. ZTZ trying to do something, but he's tracked. ATGM flying right past us and they miss. Rounds landing everywhere. Barely even hitting the tanks. T-72, another one dumps into the dirt, and ATGM slams into the top side of the first T-72. That one's in pain. Another round into our front. Oh my goodness, what a play! ZTZ takes out the T-72, and that's the first tank down in this fight. Now they're focusing on the right side, and that's a second T-72. Unbelievable ZTZs with some huge plays, and a third one taking shots right into the side. There is too much exploding. Off behind us, I think that was a BMP that just popped, or maybe the ATGM vehicle. That is a lightly armored vehicle, no doubt. One tank round to the side is going to pop it, but here we go. Now let's back on up a little bit. Now we have 2 T-72s and 1 lightly armored vehicle down at the moment as a third one's coming in. ATGM's flying right over us. ATGM trying to land, and it does. It hits. Another vehicle down as 1 BMP goes down for MEA. And is that a third? I don't... Oh my goodness, another ATGM slams right into the side. These are just a third T-72 cooks off. That is an ammo rack. And a fourth.
We killed another. That's 4 down for sure.
What a huge show of force by China. Outnumbered to start the fight. ZTZ's just falling back, making sure they had strength in numbers and just holding strong, making the plays they need to as the last T-72 on the right flank appears to just be limping back, trying to just get himself behind cover so he can repair a bit. And finally, 1 ZTZ does go down, but that is a 4-for-1 trade at the moment.
How much build do you have in your Logi?
And do they not see? T-72 gets a nice flanking shot. ZTZ should mop him up here with 1 more right into the side. And that doesn't look like it's going to happen. Both tanks at a devastating low health right now. Who's going to get the shot off first? And it's the T-72 takes out 2 tanks for himself. With the angle, nothing can actually happen right now. And he mops up a ZBL. And another round just ricochets, flies way over. This is an incredible tank fight. Thought it was going to be an absolute stomp, and it ends up being a huge slugfest. ZTZ trying to push up around and get the second to last T-72, and he looks like, oh, he dumps it into the dirt right in front of the tank here. Looks like he might be able to play it off.
Lindy, can I take I think 600 build please for a tow?
And that is a 5th, and here you go. Last T-72. I don't believe the ZTZ crew that we're looking at right now sees him. He's got some BMPs. He's got a bunch of randomness off to his right that is just attracting his attention right now, but he needs to focus, maybe get in comms, because there you go. Last T-72 is pretty much taking free reign. And it looks like he might have even killed another vehicle out here. And he does. I can't believe this crew hasn't seen him just yet. You can see the turret right there.
The repair station's coming up to the south of the map.
And just short. In my opinion, the ZTZ is one of the harder tanks to aim at those finite numbers. The actual turret sight, the gun sight, is not as user-friendly as these T-72s and even the Abrams. And let's go. Yep, that is a complete... Wow, what a huge fight right here as a RPG.
If it's the same tank on your side,
smacks the engine of the last T-72. ZTZ is just going to try to face check it. It doesn't matter.
I have no clue he's still alive or not.
As he smokes himself, if you're in this situation, you don't want to panic as this T-72 crew is doing right now. If you actually do this smoke, you can't get a nice shot off, and it doesn't matter.
How many does that make?
ZBD, and it looks like, yep, you got the hat kit right next to him. Getting most of the damage out on this last T-72, and when it's all said and done, we have a couple of T-72s that have respawned, or I guess one in that fight. But when it's all said and done, 5 ZTZs killed, all 6 T-72s destroyed. It looks like both ZBLs destroyed and both BMPs destroyed. I cannot find, aside from the T-72 that has just respawned, even the BMP-1 was destroyed, and I think the Samir Cornet, every single thing that had some form of armament was destroyed on the MEA side, with the lone winner being that ZTZ. What an incredible armor play that we got to witness right there. That is one of... I mean, these tank fights, that's why you have to Wolfpack. I have to give credit to Squad 7. Squad 1's the only one left remaining. I do have to give credit to Squad 7. They held the flank and gave... I don't even know how quickly the other tanks were... I don't know what route they took, but they all of a sudden they were on the west side of Mutaha and just gunned it, floored it, and every single tank on this map took part in that fight. What a fantastic battle. And this is absolutely why I love Mutaha Tanks. So, while the armor recovers, we are now finding ourselves in an infantry fight. And this is actually why I like Mutaha Tanks a little bit more than Talil Tanks, is the tanks can obviously have significant the battles that happen. Not only is it fun for the tanks, but your tanks can get within the city and support the infantry. You can actually have some good combined arms, some good mechanized fights. Talil Tanks isn't really like that. You got a whole bunch of, this desert takes up more of the whole map. So if you're an infantry player and you have to play a tank map, I would highly recommend Mutaha Tanks. Because as you can see here, the MEA are all buttoned up into this communications tower right now. They got a pretty big fob, and with Southbridge, Highway Farm, and Eastern Outskirts capped, you do not want to lose. We'll press open this dome. This is the capture zone for communications. This needs to be your Alamo. If you lose this position, you are giving the enemy vehicles way too much freedom on the map. And if MEA has not set up an ATGM position, they need to right now. Not only do the vehicles need to kill vehicles, but the infantry need to kill vehicles. And ATGMs will absolutely ruin the ZTZ's days, especially since this alleyway right to our left here, this is going to be the zone where armor is going to try to make a big statement again.
For the infantry pushing on F4, can you push up northwest and attack from that position? I will get my squad to push to the east and try and attack fob that way.
Looks like his, backing up his T-72 after that. Maybe he took some AT earlier, but he's trying to repair. Yep, there you go, repair station going up by Joey. And the first couple ZTZs are back, actually 3-4. That should mean all tanks are back too. We're seeing BMPs back up. See 1-2 BMPs, 1-2 3 T-72s behind us. So we're about all square again. And infantry are going to have to try to make something happen. But what's going to happen is you need to remember the fundamentals, and I'm not seeing any
in terms of,
mortars right now.
Or should I leave it for an enemy MT?
It seems a lot of, hold on a second. As we do this Echo Wrecker.
Do we know that the enemy tanks are
and hold on, there's one. Looks like Bling Bling just smacked Golden and Joey into the side, but the thing is that that repair station is full up right now. And so you're not going to be able to do too much, at least to scare them. Another round slam. Oh, that's a hat too. I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of this decision making. Definitely not a huge fan of missing your shot. So Echo Wrecker and Bling Bling. I mean, now you had a Logi. They could have actually one-tapped with that tandem round, and instead they're going to get a full Logi run. 2-7 gets his Logi stuck up on the rocks real quick as Echo Wrecker tries to knock out the driver. Good shots. 2-7 does finally go down, but what could have been a dead Logi is now instead maybe one Logi driver who'll get picked up in just a minute. But I'm starting to hear some tank rounds firing because it's all about to go down one more time as the T-72s and BMPs start to take up a nice position way downtown. And a couple rounds actually smacking the front turret, and there goes another one. ZTZ needs to back himself up out of here.
Oh, I see him.
And you can hold on. ATGM, he's got two of them.
Squad 4, if you can move to G3.
Zoomed in to try to catch the trail of an ATGM, and instead the T-72 doing a fantastic heads up play. And speaking of heads up play, crews go heads up as they absolutely get blown apart as multiple BMPs and T-72s dial it in.
Poking his head now. Yeah, there's 3 tanks.
The Chinese crews losing 2 vehicles in quick succession as the MEA pile it back on. And if they were worried about a wolf pack before, this is one hell of a wolf pack.
Can you try and set up a toe up on your position, please?
Here you go. I mean, it is so difficult to see them as well. You can barely see with the camera. Zoom in with outlines, with names. But what's actually the most dangerous position right now, and what I'm liking to see, is Squad 4, Apple and Commander. I don't know if we can see them with the... Man, it is just so difficult to see. I really enjoy this map, but the lighting is a bit odd of a choice. Try to see as the T-72s continue on across toward this eastern border. We have Squad 7 back up. They initiated that fight earlier on with their ZTZs. They're pushing back up to the flank. We got an ATGM vehicle out here. Another ZTZ pushing out, just holding into the city. And it looks like a lot of... There we go.
Could you send your medic over here to dig?
This is actually really, really smart. Because of the shadows, the BMP is practically hidden. Commander of War, Apple, Senpai, just completely hidden. I can't even, can I say other words? What if I say completely hidden one more time? Guys, I think he's just completely hit. I can't explain it any other way. I really dislike lighting layers like this, but hey, if you got it, you got to work with it, right? So there you go. We're going to turn this off so you can see just how hard it is for our crews out here to try to find something, track it, and dial it in. And there are definitely still enemy tanks out here, but we have Scrumpy Dumpus in the ATGM vehicle, and he's looking the complete wrong way right now. Looking out towards the objective, and he's looking more on this line here. If you follow my cursor, ooh, hold on a second. That right flank, just as we were saying, right flank along the shadows, and the ZTZ needs to bail out of here. But I think, did they get tracked?
I don't see it either.
Oh, they did get tracked from that right side, and they are completely blind. As shots, oh, they're gonna have to try to get this up quick. ATGM comes in from the right side as well, and I think they're very lucky because that got primarily track damage. We can see right the smoke right here. Another smoke popped as a tank round slams into the front again, and this ZTZ crew is about to get... I was gonna say they're about to either be lucky or get two tapped with that ATGM, and well, the second one doesn't miss, hits right into the hole, and ATGM pops the lead off ZTZ, and here we go again. what was a fantastic snowball in Wolfpack in that first fight has now been more of a trickle, and this is going to turn into an overwhelming steamroll.
Commander, can you use your UAV to mark enemy contacts up there? I have mortars available.
You're not seeing a lot at the moment.
That, sorry, we're looking into that,
It seems they're sticking to the main building.
you can see right here,
Tanks move
there was a
position,
marking of an airstrike, and they had marked it on a T-72 that had just moved. We can now see him right here, so trying to get a little cheeky with the commander strike didn't end up working, and now we are back into the open desert of Mutaha. And the danger China is going to run themselves into right now is they were actually in the lead. Now, they still are 150 tickets to 128, but they are about to be dangerously behind when it comes to armored vehicles. We have squad 3 behind us to our back left. We have squad 7 behind us to our back right. And hold on, ATGM misses. That thing moves fast. Not quite sure on the velocity of that ATGM. As he loses track of it, it slams into the dirt right in front of these T-72s. You can see, you can just make out these shadows. Another ATGM comes in, and that, I think it hits, but it doesn't matter because they just take another shot from the left side. And once again, the T-72s are slowly moving up as a unit. Need to really get rid of these ATGMs. Another good impact, but
accurate marks with your move marks on the enemy tanks.
not looking like it's doing as much damage as they really want to as they dodge 2 more shots. Another ATGM flies right overhead. And a third. And he dumps that short. I think that's two missed ATGMs, 1 hit. And another tank way out in the distance. T-72 looks like he just caught a rocket. Ooh, very lucky. That round just deflects right in front of the ZTZ. And they are on a 2 or 3 on 1 right now. You can see smoking. Hold on a second. That one impacts just behind us. And there you go. Trying to get the second ZTZ as they keep hitting the top turret. And that's one issue. And hold on a second. Do we have another tank here? No, they just keep missing. That's one issue with the ZTZ. Has such a high remote weapon system that they're still able to impact it. And it's not going to do too much damage, but you are going to put the commander kind of out of commission here, not able to turn that turret as quickly as he wants to. ZTZ going to fall back just a little bit. And 2 defensive smokes pop. So 7 is alive. I don't want to say how alive they are because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got all the tanks
What do you want?
up north, and 127 tickets to 117.
Is that toe accurate?
1 bad tank fight right now can completely flip this for MEA.
Yeah, just stand by.
ATGM looks like he impacts the T-72, smoking Golden and Zhaoui. And hold on, it is Tug Speedman on the ATGM. Chinese ATGM position, trying to get eyes on the enemy armor, and he's going to YOLO a shot through the smoke. Look good, but he's not going to pull it off as defensive smoke pops 1 more time. And there he goes. Wow, what a huge shot. Fantastic play. T-72 fires a heat round right into the side. ATGM user down, but you have his buddy coming up trying to get him back up to get that ATGM functional. This is offering fantastic support for their friendly vehicles off to our back right as another impact from some AT. Box 4 is tracked, and you have this BMP right here that is tracked way out in the middle of the city.
They're not currently on it, but they got infantry around it.
China needs to take advantage of a tracked vehicle and just ambush him with infantry because you are 118 tickets to 114. MEA have closed the gap, being able to offer a fantastic last stand at communications tower while slowly chipping away at the vehicles. And Squad 7 is going to be, needs to be very, very careful. You got two T-72s. You see Average and I'm not quite sure the other name here. Lieutenant Whiskers, Overwatch. Their tanks, I don't believe they're actually going to be able to see if Squad 7 peeks on out of here. But that's okay. Belth, you have a couple AT as well with infantry trying to push out and at least offer some distraction. If you can get a nice track,
we don't have control over this hab.
if you can get a nice track, if you can cause the tank crew to stop just only focusing on armor, that is a win as infantry. You need to cause disruption. You know, if you're a lap player on this map, don't think you're ever going to kill a vehicle. Most likely not going to happen. You need to cause tanks to get tracked. You need to lose engines. You need to just start death by 1,000 cuts essentially, and then allow the big boys, the hats and the tanks, to finish it off as we hear some more rumbling as another ZTZ rolls right down the road. And I think Squad 5 or MEA are being very smart by not firing until they have a good shot. Both tanks lining it up against the ZTZ, completely blind, doesn't even realize he's running into an ambush here. In front, you hear the call out just a little too late. Driver takes one shot as a second T-72 fires into the ZTZ, and ZTZ hasn't even fired yet, finally takes one out, and it looks like he's going to track the T-72. And he might be doing just enough. Backs up the hill as it fires off into the distance. Now Squad 7 going to do what they had done to them earlier as offer the support. Squad 7 at the start of this game were the ones holding the line while everyone else came up behind and kind of saved the day. Now they're going to try to return the favor here. As why do they still have the ATGM out? Load your cannon! Trying to get cute with these ATGMs. I'm not a huge fan of them. And that is that's a T-62 and a T-72. ZTZs, this should be easy mode. But they honestly just don't get cute with the ATGM. ZTZ should have a fantastic shot on both of them. T-62 takes one right into the side, but he is not tracked yet, just barely. Oh, that looks like a deflect. And ZTZ misses. We can see off to our left, for some reason, the backup ZTZs are just watching. Nothing is happening. ZTZ trying to take a little bit more damage than he really should. I'm not quite sure what's happening right now. Both of the backup ZTZs are doing nothing. We actually see one going on the retreat. And this might cost the Chinese team another tank. And finally, off to the left, looks like Squad 7's second tank coming in, and there you go. T-72 down, and T-62 is going to be left, well, with absolutely nothing to show for it. And there it goes, ammo rack. Unbelievably close. Really should not have been that close with a 3-on-2, and honestly a ZTZ, 3 ZTZs against 1 T-72 and a T-62 should have been much easier. I'm gonna call that kind of a blown play by MEA right now. They should have killed at least one of these vehicles. ZTZ also getting a little lucky. I think it was Squad 1. He immediately backed out of here. Could have had that fight on a 3v2 from the get-go, and instead chooses to repair as another vehicle pops. I think that might have been, oh, hold on a second. Actually, don't even know how that happened. Some tank just blew up, and hold on a second. 87 tickets to 41. Losing those vehicles is just absolutely devastating for MEA, but it looks like maybe trying to get a nice little flank. China trying to use the middle crossroads, trying to get around the left side of communication outpost, runs into a new fob, Squad 11, and looks like Forden, maybe his AT crew, able to take out a ZTZ completely by surprise. And it isn't over yet. 87 tickets to 41. If this wasn't a tank match, I think, especially with the current infantry positions, I'd be a little bit more concerned. But, oh, hold on. Is this a radio or a rally? If this is a radio, this is a very dangerous position as well. Completely on the outside. And yeah, honestly, MEA could shoot that radio down just from the vehicles they have right now. But with 40 tickets to 86, and you now have the MEA push, ZTZs on this flank need to be very smart. We have one ZTZ by himself out in the desert, another closer by the ATGM position. And while that's happening, infantry are starting to push into communications. And very smart play here by the tank crews. MEA tank crews getting a hab of radios set up, getting repair. And there you go. Kyle in the T-72 looks to have dialed in. Not quite sure what exactly he saw, but everyone's seen it too. Makes good impact, and that is... I'm not even sure what this is.
If you guys can drop it, I'm bringing up...
Not sure what he's seeing. I think that might have been... Oh, it looks like... So I can't move the map anymore, but if you look far right of your screen, there's a little armored car. So it looks like the CSK, the ATGM armored car for China. Whoever was on that ATGM actually got shot off, so the vehicle's out there stranded by himself. Not going to threaten as it just pops by an ATGM there. And here you go. ZBL choosing to just roll right on out, and he gets a shot right through the engine block. He is about to pop. A second tank round coming in, and there you go. Oh, wait, hold on a second. How did he not die yet? There he is. I think some explosion. No, he did. He did pop.
Squad
so
you've lost your hab.
ZBL goes down. That's another few tickets. As there we go, 68 to 35. ATGMs just flying down the desert. And this is where MEA, they need to be a little bit aggressive. They have the numbers to completely pick apart the Chinese armor crews right now. As another round dumps a little short in front of this T-72, and there you go. Is that another one? It is. ZTZ goes down, and now it's a 50 to 33 ticket game. Basically, the difference in tickets right now is essentially like one tank crew, as we have one ZTZ. Oh, and hold on, is the infantry going to pull off something huge? They might. Infantry have now pushed into communications, and you see that ZBL as well. ZBL supporting the infantry, and they've actually overrun the FOB on communication outpost. Hold on a second. There's mines everywhere, actually. Drops the smoke. And we need to see just a little bit. Be very careful. Hold on a second. I see there's a combat engineer trying to run right into the ZBL. And he's going to... Oh, there he is. He dropping a mine right in front? He does. He drops a mine right in front. Unbelievable. It needs to be in front of the tire, though. They roll right past it. There are mines actually all over it. It's another mine. ZBL loses half of its wheels.
Yeah, armor play safe. 20 tickets.
20 tickets to 27. And just as I say, armor play safe. Looks like some armor behind the lines. I'm not quite sure exactly where, because it looks like our squad 4 vehicle is still up. But B. Benesh tries to push and almost takes out, is it Inferno? I'm not sure if they've been able to get this fob up. Not yet. You still have a bunch of infantry pushing the position. It'd be an amazing way to end the game if infantry can come in at the last and just finish off this W, because MEA are just are so close to pulling it off right now as mortars come in. I'm not sure if these are defensive or offensive mortars, as we're trying to find, this is friendly mortars, enemy mortars, not even sure, can't see the mortar tube, but there are so many bodies down on the point right now that nobody has an opportunity to give up. And here you go, squad 4, this is it, that's the game. 12 tickets. MEA might pull off a fantastic comeback as Sweet Hagrid pops smoke, trying to just deny the 15 ticket kill. Commander of War Apple Senpai up on the flank on the top left. They send in an ATGM, it misses. 11 tickets to 25. Bo ZTZ's trying to do something. They do not want to be the ones responsible for the loss. 11 tickets to 24. ATGM comes in inside. It hits mainly track. And they decide to actually, are they out of ATGMs? Not quite sure what's going on right now, as ZTZs should have just been sitting ducks. As you have squad 11 out west. Oh, he's actually in a very good position to hit some more armor. As a radio, I don't know if it's being dug down just yet. And Sweet Hagrid is going to pop in some smoke and try to get out of that position, as the red dots are just slowly trying to creep across the desert and finish off these tanks. 1 ticket.
Full on everything.
24 tickets to 0, and that was it. ZBD is the final kill as he pops right at the end.
Why is it so fucking foggy, man?
0 tickets for China, 24 tickets for MEA. MEA pulling off a huge comeback out on Mutaha Tanks. 121 kills to 111. You can see all in the tanks there. GG's.